Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the human respiratory system. Let's explore how our bodies breathe, exchange gases, and keep us alive. Let's get started. Imagine you're a tiny oxygen molecule taking a thrilling journey through the human body. Where would you start? And how would you navigate your way to the ultimate destination, the alveoli? Our journey begins at the nasal cavity, where air first enters our respiratory system. Here, the air is filtered, warmed, and moistened by mucous membranes and tiny hair-like structures called cilia. This process ensures that the air reaching our lungs is clean and at the right temperature. The mouth can also serve as an alternate entry point for air. The oral cavity plays a minor role in respiration, but is essential for speech and swallowing. If the nasal passages are blocked, breathing through the mouth becomes essential. Next, the air travels through the pharynx, a muscular tube that serves as a passageway for both air and food. The pharynx connects the nasal cavity and mouth to the larynx and esophagus, directing air towards the lungs and food towards the stomach. Air then passes through the larynx, or voice box, which is crucial for producing sound. The larynx also has a protective function. During swallowing, the epiglottis covers the trachea, preventing food from entering the airway. From the larynx, air moves into the trachea, a flexible tube reinforced with C-shaped cartilage rings. These rings keep the trachea open, allowing air to flow freely towards the lungs. The trachea splits into two main bronchi, each entering a lung. These bronchi further divide into smaller bronchioles, spreading throughout the lungs. The bronchioles end in tiny air sacs called alveoli, where the magic of gas exchange happens. In the alveoli, oxygen from the air we breathe diffuses into the blood, while carbon dioxide from the blood diffuses into the alveoli to be exhaled. This vital exchange is essential for maintaining healthy oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in our body. Let's take a closer look at the lungs, the primary organs of the respiratory system. The lungs are located in the chest cavity, protected by the rib cage. They are spongy organs that house the bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli, all crucial for breathing and gas exchange. The right lung is divided into three lobes, the superior, middle, and inferior lobes. The left lung has only two lobes, the superior and inferior lobes. The left lung is slightly smaller than the right lung to make room for the heart. Each lung is enclosed in a double-layered membrane called the pleura. The visceral pleura covers the lung surface, while the parietal pleura lines the chest cavity. Between these layers is the pleural cavity, which contains a small amount of pleural fluid. This fluid reduces friction during breathing movements and allows the lungs to move smoothly within the chest cavity. Now, let's take a closer look at the gas exchange process that occurs in the alveoli, the tiny air sacs in our lungs. Alveoli are tiny, balloon-like structures clustered at the end of the bronchioles. They are surrounded by a network of capillaries, which are small blood vessels. This close proximity allows for efficient gas exchange. When we inhale, air fills the alveoli, bringing in oxygen. The walls of the alveoli are extremely thin, as are the walls of the surrounding capillaries. This thin barrier, called the respiratory membrane, is only about 0.5 micrometers thick, making it easy for gases to diffuse across. Oxygen in the alveoli diffuses across the respiratory membrane into the capillary blood because of the higher concentration of oxygen in the alveoli compared to the blood. Hemoglobin in red blood cells binds to the oxygen, transporting it through the bloodstream to tissues and organs throughout the body. At the same time, carbon dioxide, a waste product of cellular respiration, is present in higher concentrations in the blood returning to the lungs. It diffuses from the blood across the respiratory membrane into the alveoli. This carbon dioxide is then expelled from the body when we exhale. This continuous exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is vital for maintaining the body's internal environment. Oxygen is essential for cellular respiration, the process by which our cells produce energy. Carbon dioxide, on the other hand, must be removed to prevent acidification of the blood and maintain pH balance. In summary, the gas exchange process in the alveoli is a beautifully efficient system. Oxygen moves from the air in the alveoli into the blood, while carbon dioxide moves from the blood into the alveoli to be exhaled. This process ensures that our cells receive the oxygen they need and that carbon dioxide is removed from our bodies. Moving on to the muscles of the respiratory system. First up, the diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle below the lungs that plays a key role in breathing. When the diaphragm contracts, it flattens and expands the chest cavity, drawing air into the lungs. When it relaxes, the chest cavity reduces in volume, pushing air out. Next, we have the intercostal muscles, located between the ribs, assisting in breathing by lifting and lowering the rib cage. Together with the diaphragm, they enable efficient inhalation and exhalation. Let's recap the respiratory process. During inhalation, the diaphragm and intercostal muscles contract, expanding the chest cavity and drawing in air. In the alveoli, oxygen diffuses into the blood and carbon dioxide is expelled. During exhalation, the muscles relax, reducing the chest cavity volume and pushing air out. Breathing is regulated by the brain, specifically the medulla oblongata and pons. These control centers respond to changes in blood gas levels, adjusting the rate and depth of breathing to maintain homeostasis. Chemoreceptors in the carotid arteries and aorta detect these changes, signaling the brain to regulate our breathing. And that's a brief overview of the human respiratory system. From the nasal cavity to the alveoli, each part plays a crucial role in keeping us alive and healthy. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more educational content. Thanks for watching and breathe easy.